Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
Oh, and live from my mom's apartment, this is Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. Today we're going to talk about Star Trek Discovery Season 5, the final season, Episode 7, entitled ERIGAH. Plus, we've got Star Trek news and your listener feedback. I'm Scott Bowders. That's Dan Lombardo. And now, move over, Oprah. There's a new celebrity interviewer sheriff in town, Daniel Reyes.
Hola. Hi.
And Scott, if you could just apologize to your mom. I didn't mean to keep my shoes on when we first came out. I didn't know shoes off house.
That's right.
Yeah. How's everybody doing today?
We're all at Scott's mom's apartment.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're all at Scott's mom's apartment.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Happy Mother's Day.
Speaking of which,
to my mother, my wife, and to Sam Jackson, who's the baddest mother I know.
Speaking of which, I have somebody who would like to say hello to everybody at Trekcast.
Oh,
hey. Hello.
Hi there. I just wanted to tell you that you guys do a fabulous job, including my son.
Yeah,
and
he's all right.
I watch it every week, and it's amazing. But you guys work so well together.
Thank you.
That's so cool. And your guests are wonderful too. That's all I want to do. Don't want to take any more of your time. Have a great day.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
Thank you.
Yeah.
You too.
Oh, that was great.
That's great.
Thanks for the indulgence.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, she's always talking about the group and you guys, and she loves the show. So
she tells everyone about my famous son.
Yeah, that's right.
Famous son Scott. Tens of people talk about him every day.
That's right.
Almost dozens.
Almost
dozens.
That's what do you guys got planned with Mom today?
We're gonna do a little bit of gift opening. I got a couple of surprises for her, and then we're gonna go out to lunch, me and my youngest son and her. So
nice.
Really?
Very good.
Well, Mother's Day is always awkward for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah. It's okay. But we're gonna go hang out at my sister's house and do some Mother's Day stuff for her. So
all right.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
It'll be good. But yeah, how's your guys' week been?
It was raining.
Okay.
I don't know. The universe does not want me to mow this lawn. Every time I plan to mow it, it rains. And,
no.
It gets long. It's when it passes the point where you're like, not going to be able to use the bagger this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're way past that. We are way past that.
So, yeah.
Dan, you're sounding a little crinkly there.
I'm sounding crinkly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you know how I feel.
That's right.
Sounded all crinkly.
That's right.
Is that any better?
No.
Oh Lord.
Try unplugging your thing and plugging it back in. Blow on it like a NES cartridge.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, he's killing people's headsets.
Okay, if you're listening to the show, do not watch it.
Yeah. Or do.
Yeah. Any better?
Welcome to Trekcast After Dark, everyone.
I don't know. This is the new set that you sent me a few months ago. I gotta toss this now too.
Something I noticed when we recorded, Daniel, the after Trek, the quick reaction. Yeah. I noticed that when I didn't hear any of the pops on the podcast.
Yeah.
From my headset. So I'm wondering if the listeners can even hear that.
I don't know. I
don't know if there's anyone listening live. How do I sound?
Yeah, let us know. I wonder if it's an issue with StreamYard.
Could
I'll
be.
have
I
to
wonder.
look into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could T-Bear or Chazbiz or
Yeah, whoever's in the chat, let us know.
whoever's in the chat, let us
Yeah.
know. Does Dan sound as horrible as he sounds to us?
We can hear it. Awesome.
We can hear
All
it.
right.
Oh, my wife says we can. Okay.
Yeah.
Going old school.
Okay. All right.
While he's doing that, I want to show everybody my T-shirt. It's a T-shirt of the week.
Oh yeah,
So-
let's do T-shirt of the week.
All right. So this is a T-shirt that I got from my wife. It's
That's awesome.
Riker. Yeah, it's Riker and Picard and Admiral Akbar and somebody shouting there are 4 aces, and this is the shirt that I get the most comments on whenever I go to a Comic-Con or a
Mhm.
whatever. Everybody always stops and wants to look at the T-shirt.
Oh wow,
So
it's a good
Yep.
shirt. I like it.
yeah, everybody. It's a little out there. It's got Star Wars and Star Trek, and
Yeah.
you got Darth Vader saying no, and Picard saying there are 4 aces, and Admiral Akbar saying it's a trap.
So somebody just posted doing it live. Who posted that?
Chazbiz.
Is that a Bill O'Reilly reference? I'm just curious.
I think
Chaz.
so.
Yeah.
Hey Dan, I think it's your connection. I don't think it's the headset because it's so
All right.
crinkly.
All right. I'll see you next week.
Okay, good. We'll
Yeah.
we'll interview new co-hosts until then.
I wonder if it is a StreamYard thing. I'll have to look it up after the show,
Okay.
or else it'll torpedo my time. And
Otherwise, this is a good pod. You know,
yeah, that's right.
this is welcome to Technical Cast, everyone.
That's right. Yeah. Technical issue. I'll tell you what. Why don't we get into Star Trek news while we're waiting for Dan to come back?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Star Trek news.
All right. So our first news story comes to us from the New York Times, surprisingly, and we're learning a little bit more about the potential breakup of Paramount. This is, of course, if Sony gets their way.
What?
Yeah, if Sony and Apollo are able to purchase Paramount, the plan is, according to the New York Times, and apparently they spoke to multiple insiders, that Sony's and Apollo's plan is to completely break Paramount. They will apparently sell off CBS, MTV. The Paramount Plus streaming service would also be sold off. The plan is potentially to incorporate a bunch of Paramount's franchises like Mission Impossible and Ninja Turtles and Star Trek into Sony. So those would all be under the Sony banner.
That'd be one hell of a crossover.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait for the Ninja Turtles and Star Trek to be one.
Right?
Yeah. So that is
God.
the potential. Yeah. So they basically want to just take it apart. Now, what's cool is, I've been able to interview a lot of people, like you were saying, Scott, and I was able to get on tape a response from a Paramount spokesperson about the potential breakup of Paramount. So let's play that right now.
Squash. Dead. Disassemble. Dead. Disassemble. Dead.
Oh,
So there you go. Apparently, they are not happy with this idea.
No disassemble.
No
disassemble.
No disassemble.
Nobody under 30 knew what the hell that was.
Nah.
Nope. But according to the numbers, that's our target demo. So we're
That's
good.
that was number 5 or Johnny 5 from
Johnny 5.
Short Circuit.
That's right. Johnny 5 is alive. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Oh boy.
what do you guys think about the potential breakup of Paramount and selling it for parts?
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care
It
anymore.
doesn't matter.
We talked about this. Well, no, we didn't talk about this last week. We talked about this last week and the week before and the week before and the week before. And the reason why we talked about it is because it's just been in limbo for so long. Paramount is a dying company, and we're just waiting for this dying company that happens to own the rights to our favorite franchise figure out what the hell to do with each other or do with itself. And I apologize for all the cursing, but I'm angry at Paramount for, nobody seems to care about some of these franchises that are owned by these networks. And
has nobody thought of Tom Cruise?
Yeah,
His Mission
think of poor
Impossible?
Tom Cruise.
That's right.
He's got dues to pay.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
Scientology isn't cheap.
That's right.
Sorry, I just got all of us canceled.
Oh man,
I just
you know
This
what
is
they
the last
could do?
Trekcast.
hold on. There's a knock at the door. Oh,
Yeah.
somebody with
You know
a.
what they could do?
I have to read this prepared statement that I just got.
That's right.
Dear Trekcast listeners, I apologize for saying the disparaging remarks. Yeah, who cares?
Fair enough. All right, our next news story.
So they need to name drop like some Starfleet admiral, Admiral Pete Mitchell the 7th, and that would make Top Gun Star Trek canon. Like, you know, naval tradition.
There you go.
The Mitchell family. Right? That was his name, Pete Mitchell, wasn't that Maverick's name?
Yeah, or something like that.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Have like the USS Maverick.
God, now I want that.
Now
I want that.
It's got like flames on the side of it.
Red Squad to be the Top Gun. You know?
Oh
Yeah.
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 Or like if they do like a Star Trek Academy series, they can like walk down the halls of like, oh, and this is where our flight academy is, and we can see like a Top Gun, maybe a picture of Val Kilmer or whatever.
Yep. They're like Neil Armstrong, Pete Mitchell, Jonathan Archer.
Yep.
Drop it right in there.
The USS
Weave
Goose.
it right in. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So our next news story comes to us from trekmovie.com. And surprise, surprise, for the first time, Star Trek Discovery has broken into the top 10 streaming services or streaming shows. Now, the thing about this is for the week of April 8th through the 14th. We just are now getting the numbers. So if you look back at a calendar, this would have been just a few days after Discovery premiered for season 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
except I've never even heard of the 9 shows above it. So
Fallout I heard of. That's good.
yeah, all right. I guess
Shogun is a pretty big show right now.
Ripley is that an Alien prequel?
I have no idea, man. I don't know most of these.
That's what I'm
Three-body
saying.
problem I know is a sci-fi thing. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, it's number 10 in the top 10 list of shows you've never heard of.
Right.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. So who knows if it'll be in there next week? That'll kind of be the real telling thing. I could see it being, the first week that it was out. Oh, Chasbith says it's the talented Mr. Ripley. That's what Ripley is. Like a remake of that.
I'm aware that that's a thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Never seen that.
me neither.
Is it Cake beat it out?
Is it Cake? That's
It's
a
there.
show? That's a show?
That's a show.
All
Is
right.
it Cake?
I thought that was is it Cake? I thought it was a series of TikToks. That's what I thought that is. Where
No,
like,
it's a show.
there's a picture of an old telephone, and you're like, no, it's a phone, and then they cut it, and it's Cake.
Yeah,
They're doing Paramount's doing a horrible job of advertising these shows. A lot of people I've talked to, they're like, perfect example. I'd like to talk about that a little later. Guess who hadn't heard that there was new Star Trek out?
Who's that?
William Sadler.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into that after the news.
Yeah.
I didn't get to
All right.
watch that yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Real quick tidbit from Collider. If you guys have seen or have not yet seen the new Doctor Who, it just premiered. You can watch the episodes on Disney Plus. But apparently there is a reference to Star Trek in one of the episodes, so much to the point that the Doctor mentions that they can go visit Star Trek if they want to. So Star Trek is now real in the Doctor Who universe.
I guess I'm a Doctor Who fan now. You have to go check it out.
So. Yeah,
They can go visit Star Trek,
that's what he says. Like,
but he calls it Star Trek.
Yeah, it's
Okay. Well, then that doesn't imply that it's the same universe. That implies.
well. I mean, if you
that
can
they
visit them,
I don't know what show it was that I heard.
but he's naming the show.
Mhm.
So he's not saying we can go visit the 24th century. He's saying we can go visit this sci-fi franchise, which that says to me Star Trek is a show in that universe, not that it's real in that universe.
Yes,
Okay,
but
I
I
can see
just
that.
it was an article that I read. I don't remember where, but they were talking about the idea that the multiverse, right, and the different quantum universes, and if there's so many of them that maybe there's a universe. In fact, there's almost a certainty there's a universe out there if there's infinite universes.
Mhm.
That the things that we know as TV shows and movies and franchises and comic books almost has to exist on another universe. So because of the laws of probability, because there's infinite, if there is a multiverse, there's an infinite number of them. There has to be a universe out there where there is a Federation, there is an Enterprise, there is a Kirk.
Scott, how much weed you smoking?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So Doctor Who they could just be aware of this entire multiverse.
That's right, man.
So what the multiverse says is, and what the theory of multiple timelines says, is that anything that can happen will happen or has happened.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. But it hinges on the word can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can something that I think of as a piece of fiction exist in a real place somewhere else? No.
Well, you're
So
allowing that limitation of
doesn't
can.
that doesn't break the statement. Anything that can happen will happen.
Perhaps there's a universe out. See, you're basing that on choices that we make, and that's the only difference between one universe and another.
So if
Is the-
franchises could be real in some sort of multiverse, does that mean there's a Paddington universe?
100%.
Oh, it's exciting.
But on the flip side of that coin, there's also a universe where Ted exists. So
Okay. I'm gonna break this for you right now.
Okay, do
By
it.
that logic, there is a universe where this podcast has more subscribers than Joe Rogan.
That's
there
true.
is.
It doesn't
yeah,
work.
This is true.
It falls apart.
No. Yeah. Streaming live from my mother's penthouse
That's right. That's
in
right.
New York.
Some other quick tidbits that I came across, that really weren't a full story, but I just thought I'd mention it. For next week's X-Men 97 finale, the showrunner Bo DeMilo has said, for extra credit homework, watch the TNG episode Cause and Effect. Apparently that is going to have some sort of connective tissue to the next X-Men show. So
That's the Frasier one, right?
yes, that is the phrase.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And Scott, if you could hold up your Tumblr again for a minute. When it was half in frame and I couldn't see that it was an M, I thought you had a Charlie Brown Tumblr that you were trading.
yeah,
I'm like, man, is there a franchise this guy doesn't like?
that's right. That's
Hey, I
right.
dig the peanuts.
So yeah, and then the other news story is recently the Star Trek franchise won a Peabody Award for shedding a light on stories that matter. So that's kind of neat. That it's like a lifetime achievement award basically for Star Trek. So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Oh, Tiber asking the real questions. Is there a Stargate universe where Daniel is part of SG-1? No. No,
Nope.
that would be called
There-
hell.
There isn't even a universe where we watch that show.
That's right. That's right.
I can see a universe where Discovery is real and Dan is the first officer.
What is,
God.
what is that line from Doctor Strange where he's like, I love you in every universe? It's like,
Yeah.
we hate you in every
Yeah,
universe.
exactly.
Uh,
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, oh, a waiting game, unrelated, but I'm very interested to hear Scott's take on the new Superman suit.
okay. Yeah. Well, my take, and I don't. Dan is a huge Superman fan too, so much so that he actually has a tattoo of the Superman emblem on him.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we're both big Superman. So I'm interested in Dan's take too. So,
They're in the shadow, but you can make out that he's got the red trunks.
Mhm.
I'm happy for that. I know it's old fashioned, but I don't care. Superman is old fashioned.
That's fine with me too.
And I'm glad those are there. I think the collar is a little too high. I don't like the high collar TNG,
Little new 52 for you.
TNG uniform style high collar new 52. I could do without that. I like the low cut with the cape tucked in, but overall it doesn't look bad. Not crazy about the Superman emblem, the S on his chest. I would have liked something a little more traditional.
Yeah, it's a little Kingdom Come.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll give it a fair shake. I give everything a fair shake, and I check it out. I mean, I went to see. I hated Man of Steel.
Yeah,
I went to see it opening night.
Me too.
I gave it a chance. When Batman versus Superman came out, I said, all right, maybe they fix some stuff. It was horrible. When Justice League came out, I was like, all right, third time's a charm.
that's right.
Nope.
Yeah,
No good. When they released it again as a 5-hour extravaganza, I subscribed to HBO Max just for the purpose.
So did I.
And they got me because I kept that turd of a service for like 2 years after that, just because I was too lazy to cancel it. Yeah, it was no good. I'm one of these people that the Snyderverse. Oh, it's gone. Bye.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss the Snyderverse at all. The problem with saying goodbye to the Snyderverse is it's like any terrible overall story. There was some great moments in that. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is, I think, fantastic.
Yep.
There were a
good.
few decent moments in Man of Steel and a couple of decent moments in Justice League. Just like, they went just like in Superman Returns. Superman Returns as an overall movie was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
When you think about it, he didn't throw a single punch in that movie. Where in the Snyderverse, that's all he does is punch. I mean, that's it. But if you look at Superman Returns, it's a much more nuanced movie, and he plays a much better Clark Kent.
It's the same issue that Star Trek has. It's the same issue that Star Wars has.
Yeah.
Every time they try to deviate from the source material, the fans don't like it. Sure, there are some people who do, but overall, the majority of people do not like the new interpretations. So then they have to reboot, go back to the original, what people wanted originally. So with Star Trek, or Star Wars, you're getting stuff like The Mandalorian that's more in line with what we originally enjoyed. And now that's more popular and people are starting to like it. And that seems to be where they're going to go now, right? With DC, you're getting that with the James Gunn universe, right? That's what it appears it's going to do. And now with Star Trek, even that, the most popular stuff that's been around recently has been the reboot of the old stuff. Picard season 3 and probably Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
It's more in line. So same idea. It's just people want the shows they want.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the James Gunn version of Superman. I like a lot of the casting so far. So we'll see. I'll lap anything up that's got the Man of Steel in it. I even watched Super Pets.
There you go.
Because Superman's in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, should we get to our main topic?
Can we talk a little bit about your interview?
Oh yeah.
You had 2 interviews.
I had 2 interviews this week. Yeah.
Yep. And I listened to both of them.
We can
done.
hear you, Dan. Yeah.
What was he talking?
What's that?
Oh, I thought you said you were losing us, and I was like, we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys were all frozen and garbly there for a minute. I think we came out of it okay, though.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I just the one that's most fresh in my mind. I just listened to it today. Was the one with William Sadler.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing interview. That was the one thing I'd like to mention about that is there was a very vulnerable, emotional part of it for you, where you mentioned your mom passing, and you were relating that to a part of the movie he just did, and I just thought that was that really tugged at my heartstrings. So I just thought it was a well done interview, and I just thank you for that. And
thanks.
really good.
Yeah. That was a fun interview to do. I mean, they're very easy to work with. He was very personable, very just could keep talking. It was great.
Yeah, you guys. He seemed pretty comfortable doing it. And you
Yeah.
guys seemed pretty comfortable talking to each other. And the part that I kind of alluded to earlier was you're talking about a co-star of his in a new Star Trek, and he's like, "Oh, they're making new Star Trek."
I know.
He's like completely unaware of it.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I get it. He's Hollywood and probably doesn't. Hollywood, you're either really up on what's new, or
Mhm.
you haven't been in anything big in a while, or you don't care about what's around you.
Right.
Um,
And we
So-
did ask him if he's going to be in the Section 31 movie. That's in the interview. He does talk quite a bit about it. He also talks about being basically the foundation of Section 31, which was kind of cool.
So if you haven't heard it, I definitely recommend all of our listeners checking that out on the podcast feed or on YouTube. And then the other interview you did,
Adele Shepard, yeah.
Yep, she was in Star Trek Picard season 2.
Correct. She was the Helms officer. She was in the first episode and the last episode.
Helms officer of the Titan.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great interview. She seemed very cool, and
yeah, she's going to be at the convention that Dan and I are going to, that Trek Long Island. So we'll get to meet her in person. She's got a background in ballet, and still does that to this day, but also is acting. She was very excited to talk about that she's going to be in a Amazon Prime show, but she doesn't know when that's going to be released, and really can't mention anything else other than it's on Amazon. So,
right on.
Yeah. But yeah, both interviews were a lot of fun to do. Both were very cool people. So, DJ back when Section 31 was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
right.
So yeah, awesome job. That was
Thanks, man.
really fun to watch.
Yeah. So, anything else you wanted to bring up, or?
So I heard a rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know. I didn't research it all. I don't know what to make of it yet. But I saw it in a couple different places that Disney Plus is planning a Captain America limited series with Chris Evans, basically showing him returning the Infinity Stones to the timeline.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you guys,
yeah,
if you've heard about it,
From two different sources.
Yeah, if there's anything to back it up. And
I heard it from two different sources, which doesn't mean anything.
I bring it up because what you were talking about a minute ago, where these franchises, they try to go a different route sometimes, and there's fan backlash and people don't like it, and what do they end up doing? They end up returning to the source material at some point. And I have to point out that Captain America 4, which Chris Evans is not in, it stars Anthony Mackie as Captain Falcon America. That thing is in its third round of reshoots.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's been pushed back multiple times to the point where it's affecting the marketing and the merchandising, because these movies are planned on a timeline. My daughter spent the day with her grandfather the other day, and she came home with a Happy Meal. And the Happy Meal was a Captain America Brave New World Happy Meal. And I'm like, when is this? Like, when is this movie coming out?
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and it's not coming out until next summer, right? Or it was supposed to be this summer. Now it's coming out in February, but that's like the third time it's been pushed back.
Yep.
And I'm thinking about it, and it probably got to the point where McDonald's had a warehouse full of this crap, and they're like, "We're not holding on to this any longer.
Yeah.
We don't care when the movie's coming out.
Yeah.
The toys and the Happy Meal boxes are going."
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I have a suggestion for the people who are, if they make a
the Happy Meal people, listen up, Happy Meal people. Scott's got a suggestion.
I have a suggestion for the people that make that Captain America, not the movie, the one with Chris Evans. People have suggested it 6 episodes. That makes sense. I get it. I'm saying make it 7 episodes, and make it. This is going to sound crazy, but make each episode actually about returning each stone don't turn it into some sort of deconstructed crazy storyline that ties into 15 different things. Just go stone by stone. Each one is like an episode of Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Okay, episode 6, you return the final stone, and then episode 7 is about his decision about whether or not to go back or to go seek out Haley Atwell.
Right.
And
so the Stone show, that has not been confirmed anywhere. It's been a long rumor for years and years that they should do a show about that.
That's what they need to call it too. The Stone Show.
The Stone Show. Skipping Rocks, the show. Yeah.
Skipping Rocks.
But we don't know, right? We don't know. It could be an idea, right? A lot of times these big companies will leak out stories, see what sticks, and then all of a sudden that's the show.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't know. The thing about with the Captain America movie, I think there could be some issues with it, but also we have to remember they are completely rechanging everything they're doing in the wake of Jonathan Majors and Kang, right?
Oh,
so, yeah. So we don't know what the original script, how much it was tied to Kang, because there were some rumors of that as well. So if they got to go back and change everything, there have also been reports of bad screenings for the Captain America movie.
Yeah.
So there could be changes for that. So that could explain a lot of these. Okay, third round of reshoots to make it all work.
So what did they decide with the Jonathan Majors thing? Are they recasting Kang, or are they restructuring the story so he's not a major character? Well, I've heard
they recasting him.
No, they have not said that they're going to recast him. They have not said that they're going to put things in line. What they're saying is go watch Deadpool 3 and you'll see more of where we're going to go. So that's what they're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
all right.
They kind of wrote him out in Loki season 2. Like they really did just kind of leave him there and you don't really need to go with him. I think they gave themselves an out. So,
yeah.
Because at that point, the troubles were just starting to happen. So they wrote him out. Mouse knows what to do. So
the mouse knows what to do.
The mouse knows what's up.
I don't know. Maybe you haven't watched a Star Wars movie lately.
That's right. That's right.
I wouldn't say the mouse knows what to do.
Hey, the mouse doesn't know about space, but the mouse knows about Earth.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we're 34 minutes in. We should probably talk about some Star Trek.
Yeah. Let's get to the main topic.
Fun will now commence.
All right. So our main topic is a review of Discovery Season 5, Episode 7, ERIGAH. When Moll and L'ak finally are in custody, the Federation is pulled into a diplomatic and ethical firestorm. When the Breen arrive, and they begin over. Meanwhile, the book looks at ways to help Tilly, Adira, and Reno as they work to decipher the latest clue.
Who's singing?
Wasn't me.
Must be someone at the Bowder's house.
Yeah.
So I see Scott. He's muting his mic and he's doing a sign to someone off camera.
Yeah. Who was singing?
Oh, that was my son.
Nice.
To be fair to him, he just got done finishing his first musical at school. So we watched.
Okay.
I did a little volunteer work with it yesterday. Yeah. They did a musical production of Cinderella.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So they did a fantastic job, by the way.
Like the fairy tale or like the 80s hair band?
Yeah, like the fairy tale.
Okay.
All right, what are we talking about? Some sort of Star Trek thing? Some space show?
I don't even. Were you even done with your tagline?
No. What? Oh, I already read it. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this episode. The Breen show up. They're pretty pissed. And
that should be the title of this show. The Breen showed up, and they're pretty pissed.
The Breen showed up.
Yep. Yeah, there they are holding their lunchbox of doom or something. I don't know.
No, that's the Captain America Happy Meal right there.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. They're like, these toys make no sense. The movie's not out yet.
We will destroy you.
We will destroy you.
So here's the thing. I kind of like the Breen in this episode.
Yeah.
I kind of like them. I know I kind of cringed at the whole "we're liquid people" thing that they announced a few weeks ago. That's growing on me. It kind of makes sense with their if you look back at Deep Space Nine, whenever it was the Founders, the Breen, and the Cardassians in the room together, it was always the Breen and the Founders. And the Cardassians would open their mouth and they'd be shushed and pushed to the side. And so the whole, kindred spirits. Hey, we're both Plato people, as Shaw calls them. I'm kind of enjoying that a little.
I think there's a link.
A great link. A great link.
Yeah. I think there's a link between the Breen and the Founders.
I'm not quite sure why they put themselves in these suits. I'm not quite sure the whole.
Well, they're definitely not all furry.
I can become a solid, but it's an abomination. I don't quite understand all that. But the super aggressive, super powerful, we don't care what the Federation says, Breen and the power struggle, I'm kind of enjoying that. But at the same time, it got me thinking, the Dominion War is what, like 400 years ago at this point, right?
Yeah, like 700.
700 years ago? Okay. It kind of got me thinking, how much cooler would this storyline be if it took place in the 25th century?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Instead of here.
Yeah.
Including, even though I wasn't crazy about the whole progenitor story arc, but even if you transplanted that to the 25th century,
because the Dominion War would mean something,
where Picard is still around, people who fought in the Dominion War are still around. At this point in history, they keep referring to the Dominion War, but at this point in history, that's like us talking about stuff that happened in the Middle Ages, like it affects us personally.
Right. We don't have any emotions about
nope,
any of that stuff. The Crusades, even the Revolutionary War, we didn't.
Yeah. So
we understand what it got us.
This season, but something Dad said was interesting. Liquid people. Is that how they're doing the Breen now? Yes.
Liquid people.
Liquid people. Happy hour.
They're jelly beans.
Happy hour.
Yeah. So this lady's pissed off because what's his name is dead.
Right.
I still don't feel any connection between the two of them. I still don't get it. Why
there's no chemistry
connected to? Nope.
I mean, when they kissed each other, it was like watching Kira kiss Odo.
Yeah.
At least with Kira and Odo, there was a personality connection. There was a little bit of chemistry personality wise, but
at that point we had 5 years to care about both of those people. So or 3 years, whatever it was. I don't remember when it started with them.
But there was no physical chemistry between any of these characters.
Yeah, I mean, I suffer for the people, and they had both actors on the Will Wheaton show, and personally, it seemed like they really enjoyed each other's company and they were friendly and all that. That just doesn't translate to the show is the issue.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. I feel like this episode was kind of a placeholder in some respects.
Yeah.
A little bit of filler.
Didn't we say that about the episode last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you only have 10 episodes in a season, that's a little bit weird.
What do we got left? We got like three episodes left?
3,
8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully we get more Jet Reno
together. So
Jet Reno, who's a what, she's like a book expert or something.
She's an ancient text. Yeah, she's an ancient text expert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except
like-
that she's from 800 years ago, so all of her expertise is incredibly
Yeah.
outdated.
And then
At
not
this
only
point, they're asking her about 25th century stuff. She doesn't know any more than you do.
right. And then
Right.
she's like, yeah, not really. I'm not really an expert. And that was 800 years ago. So
Yeah.
I padded
But
my resume.
watch
she
me
says.
help anyway. Yeah. She said I
Yeah.
padded my resume, but
Yeah.
watch me help anyways.
Well,
Because
they said that she was a smuggler, so now she's Han Solo. You know, she's a little bit of whatever they need, which is
She's
fine.
honestly-
for anyone who has kids and watches Peppa Pig, she's Mrs. Rabbit.
Oh, is
okay.
she?
They'll get that reference. Yeah, Mrs.
Okay.
Rabbit does everything. Every time they're like, "Oh, we're going to this store," Mrs. Rabbit works there. "Oh, we're going to the post office." She delivers the mail. "We're going to fly a plane." She's a pilot.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's Jet Reno.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, come on! If you could talk about Paddington, I could talk about Peppa Pig.
No. T-Bear
Dan is
laughing
just
his
like,
ass off.
is he done talking about Peppa Pig yet? Ugh.
Yeah.
Ms. Rabbit. Ms. Rabbit.
Well, 3 more episodes. Sounds like you're in prison counting down the days to parole.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have not had good behavior, so I have to serve all 3 of those
That's right.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is this abomination, T-Bear? Peppa Pig is better
Pig.
than Paddington.
absolutely.
I've never seen Peppa Pig, so
Nope.
Well, you're missing
Trash.
out.
I still have to see Paddington too.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you
No
do.
one does.
Do
No
I?
one does.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
good?
It's
Do
changed your
I?
life.
Paddington 1, it's what I call, it's my definition of a perfect movie.
Yeah.
It's the storyline flows perfectly. There's a beginning, middle, and end. It's a perfect
So liquid
movie.
people. The Breen are liquid
was okay.
people.
So tell me more about Peppa Pig. Is that animated?
It's an animated. It's a British. Animated
Tyler, do you know
show,
what Peppa Pig is? You do? He's like, yeah, like, duh.
Which is funny because a lot of American kids watch it. So you have a lot of American toddlers now developing British accents, which is kind of funny.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's British. So
Sajay, I think they
gotcha.
just set the Trekcast record for the shortest recap.
Yeah. No. We're still talking. So
Yeah,
all right,
we're
let's do our one nice thing because I
Okay.
actually have one.
Go for
Jet
it.
Reno.
But,
That's my
no,
nice thing.
No,
No,
when
I can't.
When I can't remember her name, but when the president of Navarre is like, "Yeah, I speak Breen, sucker."
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a trope. With that
And
happens a lot in movies and TV
they were
shows.
like,
What? Yeah. She's like, I think blah 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 is the more precise
Yeah.
translation. That was a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit of a trope, but Breen is so different than everything we've heard
Yeah.
that it still kind of worked
Yeah.
in that situation.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that was a great moment. That was a great
Yeah.
moment.
that was a good moment.
See, it's just like Superman. It's just like Man of Steel, Star Trek Discovery. It's a lot of it's crap, but there are some great moments.
Mhm.
You know, that's why I can still watch Discovery. I can still watch Man of Steel. The Snyder cut.
I will say for my good moment, I really like the idea of feuding houses within the Breen Empire, and they're all vying for control. I think that's really interesting, and I think you could do
Yeah.
way more cool stuff with that. I'm sure.
Yeah,
they'll-
if you had 2 or 3 more seasons, that would be great to flesh that out and
yeah,
have like a Kazon thing going on, or like a Romulan
Mhm.
Remus thing going on.
yeah, I think that's really neat.
I would love it if the Breen was sort of like the Dominion of Discovery,
Yeah.
but they never were able to have anything kind of coalesce and become like a centralized thing.
Right, and you could argue that because they're always internally fighting.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that yeah.
So
Alright,
what
Scott,
else? Where are we at in this episode? Like where we got the last clue? No, we didn't get the last clue. We're looking for the last clue.
They're going to that library for the last clue.
That's right.
Yeah,
The floating space library.
that moves
So they've
around
got
a lot.
floating seed places. They've got floating library places.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
Everything's
call it
just floating
I'm gonna
around.
call it the I'm gonna call it Wikipedia station. That's what
That's
I'm gonna
right.
call it.
Wikipedia station.
You're gonna go to Wikipedia station for sure.
Yeah.
Hail Wikipedia station.
So they got the Wikipedia station and the Farm and Fleet station. Okay.
Nobody navigates a muddy puddle like Captain Peppa.
Yep, exactly.
There's mud in that nebula.
There's mud in that nebula.
I don't know what any of that means.
I don't either. It's funny though. You know, there are no on IMDb. There are no like goofs or interesting facts or anything. And I noticed that when the episodes are good and a lot of people watch them, people scramble to get online that are members of IMDb so they can write down their interesting facts. There are no interesting facts about this episode. So that means that nobody cared enough to log on to IMDb and write them down. Because there's a lot of stuff they could do. You know, they mentioned the Dominion Wars, stuff like that. They'll usually write down, you know, in their interesting facts. Oh, they mentioned the Dominion War from Deep Space Nine. Or
Well, here's the Rotten Tomatoes score of season 5 so far. It's an 83% with the critics, but only 18 reviews from critics, and it's a 20% from the audience score with hundreds of ratings from the audience.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. It's artistically, you know, from we talked about it before, a visual standpoint, it's beautiful. They touched on storylines that Hollywood loves. So
Action.
you know, critics are gonna...
Yeah. What's up with Saru, man? They keep writing him off every episode. Like, oh, Saru's busy over here now. Saru's busy over there now.
You take the best characters of Discovery and you give them the least amount of screen time. I mean, everybody loves Saru. I love Tilly. We all love Reno.
He's gonna save the day in the last episode or the second to last episode or something. They made a point early in this season of building him up as, you know, action Saru. Saru. This is the 5th year. No one's ever, you know, talked about him like that, but they put it in our heads in the beginning of the season that there's this, that they think of him they think of him this way. So
damage report, Dad.
I hit my cable.
Called with the belts full of bullets that you wear across your chest, like in Rambo.
The bandolier.
Yeah, bandolier. Yeah, he's gonna have a couple of those on, coming in with phasers.
At the very last minute of the last show, he's gonna.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's gonna just pop in at the last minute, and just be like, "Ha, action Saru" with his little neck needle things. Bah!
Yeah,
and he's gonna save the day. Yeah. I'll kill those Breen.
he's gonna have, you know, you can't come in and say he's coming in with 2 pistols. No, he's coming in with 12 replicators on his arm.
Right. He's gonna be like, go gadget
now. Yeah, go gadget replicator hand cannons.
Yep.
Yeah,
those still irk me.
Saru steps in with some cool shades and a minigun, smoking a cigar.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Looking like Duke Nukem.
Welcome to Trekcast, the Star Trek podcast for people over 40.
There you go.
Duke Nukem.
Yeah. Scott, you didn't say your positive thing for the episode.
Yeah, I did. Janet Reno.
Okay.
Yeah,
Janet Reno.
she's amazing, and I still love Tilly. I think she's great. Was she in this? I don't even remember. They all blend together now.
Oh my God, Daryl! I am action Saru. Saru, feel my tiny pricks.
God.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Oh, that may have broke Scott. Good job.
It's not just what he said; it's also your delivery.
Yeah.
Oh, Easter egg! I caught an Easter egg.
Yeah.
When they talked about they talked about a Beta Z. Or a Betazoid, something or other with the The
Oh,
adventure
yeah.
they're on.
Yeah, mentioned they were telepaths.
Yeah. And the Betazoid character that they mentioned, the name was Marina, which is obviously a reference to the first Betazoid we've ever met in Star Trek, played by Marina Sirtis.
Yeah,
I'm
could
guessing.
be. Now they're calling him Duke Saru.
Duke Saru, it's time to
Yeah.
shoot needles and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Nice.
Oh boy.
All right. Well,
There
anything else
are a
you wanna say about
lot
the
of
episode?
there's a lot of 1-star reviews
Yeah.
on IMDb, and they're 1 star out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Like one says, seriously, where would Star Trek? No, sorry, the world. No, scrap that. Where would the universe be if it didn't have Michael? Like, like they're so over her already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once again, to the rescue, Captain Burnham. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what cracks me up is she gets really irritated by Raynor because he's just like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just like her. I don't care how many pips are on your collar. I'm going to tell you that you're wrong and this is how it should be done. And he's just like her.
Yeah.
Raynor acts like some old master sergeant that just does not care anymore. Like he doesn't care about rank. He doesn't care about his position. He just, he and it's not like he was a captain of a starship.
Right.
So he knows how to act, especially if you're sitting in a room with your, other captains and ambassadors and admirals, but he just gives 0 Fs and, I don't know. It's
IJ says, "Why is there so much whispering in this show? You can't hear crap."
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
well,
they also mentioned the Breen, specifically the Breen attack. They said Earth has been attacked before by the Breen. They're talking about that episode where the Breen makes it all the way to Earth and destroys half of San Francisco.
Right.
There's that wide shot of like
where was
San
that?
It was during the Dominion War on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
How do I not remember that?
So there was,
Okay.
They didn't show the attack on screen. They just said Earth has been attacked. They breached the defenses. No Dominion or Breen ship survived the attack, but they just wanted to deal a psychological morale blow to the Federation. And they did this wide shot where they showed the Golden Gate Bridge like half falling
burned.
apart.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a demoralizing, and there was a conversation between Wayun and the founder and the Breen commander about, they were saying, oh, it was a good, morale strike. And yes, they lost half the ships, or most of their ships. So yeah.
It's up on Memory Alpha. There's the image that Scott's talking about.
I think it was just before the episode or during the episode where Cisco goes back to Starfleet headquarters and they want to declare martial law and they're paranoid that everybody's a changeling and
it's the episode.
Cisco's dad is like
evil.
this is BS and
yeah.
But again, this is 800 years ago.
Right.
It's not relevant at this point.
No, it's not.
The United States, the United States' strongest ally of the last 60 years is Great Britain.
Right.
Okay. And 200 years ago, they burned the White House and the Capitol to the ground.
Right.
So, this is 4 times as long ago.
Right. And you'd think in the future, things are even more fast paced. So, yeah.
Well, should we get to listener feedback?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listener feedback.
All right. We have some people who have already X'd up and are waiting for us. So we've got Chazbiz and T-Bear waiting. So let's get to Chazbiz and we'll get to T-Bear. There is.
Hello.
Welcome
Hey.
back.
I gotta
I'm back.
tell you, man, you gotta stop molesting statues. Or at least
Hey,
if you're gonna molest them, you can't post pictures, because I can't tell you how many comments I had to not approve. based
Oh,
on that
really?
picture. Yeah.
really? That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. People were not happy.
Our tour
Uh,
guide, our tour guide said it was lucky to touch it,
Yeah.
and
Well-
that's what they said. And she
Alright.
said it, and so everybody
Okay.
else was like, okay, so that's why.
But
that
you
statue
have to
is
remember,
so smooth right there. That's why it's all polished on her breast. So
what you have to remember is that the Trekcast Facebook group is a public group. So
Yeah.
that picture is viewable by literally anyone with a Facebook account in the world.
Oh,
And,
no.
Right.
There are some nasty a-holes out there that yeah.
So your tour guide said it provides luck. So you must
So
have
he
turned
got
into
lucky.
the character Jinx from Deadpool. I mean,
Yeah.
you must be the luckiest man on the planet now.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
And
Yep.
see, and that's why it's so smooth right there. Like it's all polished on that area. So
Yeah.
like nobody.
We
Here's
get
the
it.
thing: it was all
We
one
get
color
it.
before Chazbiz got there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was all solid.
It was all patina.
Yeah. Then right after that, that's when I got my cold and got sick. So
Oh,
it didn't bring
well.
luck. So
that's always
Well, at least you didn't start feeling bad till you got back, right? Or was it right then?
no, I got it there. It was awful.
Oh, being sick on vacation sucks.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But overall, how was across
It's
the
great.
pond?
I have another picture where these two, actually, it was 3 Icelandic ladies gave me. It was like Jägermeister or something like that.
Oh wow.
And like
Ugh.
it was weird. I was sitting by and they're like, "Are you American?" And I said, "Yes, I'm American." You know, of course, because I got my big Trekcast shirt on. And it's like, well, we're teachers and we have to have somebody drink our local drink from Iceland, right?
Okay.
I'm like, what is it? And it was like this weird Jägermeister type thing. So I had to drink it. And it was like, and then the next thing we got to do is pick someone up and hold them in the air. And then we got to find a gnome. And I'm like, well, you're not picking my ass up. I'll weigh too much. So
I was waiting for you to say you woke up in the tub full of ice and you had a scar.
Right.
Scar on the back.
Ditches.
but it was weird. I was like sitting there. It's like,
Did you get the sausage roll?
No, I didn't. I did not get a sausage roll.
Oh.
I had an
Yeah.
English breakfast. I had, had a bunch of
Okay.
French food. Went on the Paddington bus.
Nice.
Yeah, we
for
saw
Daniel.
pictures of that. That was cool.
Yeah, I was
Well,
very
the
excited
Paddington
about
bus. Okay, they put you on a seat about hold on that wide, right? So two
Right.
people are on that seat. I'm
Yeah.
a big guy, and my wife's on that seat. And so we're riding around England, all around London for about an hour and a half on this tiny seat in front of the bus.
You got to ask
I'm
for an
like-
American size seat.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
I'm looking at my wife. Like,
We're
I'm
super
looking at my wife, I
sized.
was like, this was a bad idea.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But the
Did you
Paddington
watch
bus is
this week's
fun.
episode?
Yes, I watched this week's episode. I watched last week's, and
Okay.
I had a hard time staying up for this week's episode because my time changed and everything. And
Yeah.
it's-
The time change. Not,
Yeah,
not
Well,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah. And a time change. And like, do I really care about Moll and L'ak? And why is Starfleet security so bad?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Even in this century, why is like you guys have all this technology? You let this girl like run around your ship, take it over. So
Crazy
now-
idea. Crazy idea. Lock the door.
Yeah.
Hey, put Moll
Do they have door locks? I
in a
mean,
security cell because she's a criminal, and I have him by lock while he's in med bay, and just
Yeah.
keep her informed and say like, "Hey, he's doing all right. He's recovering." And I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, have
Data
any-
was able to lock down an entire ship by himself.
That's right.
I mean, keep everybody on board at bay, and they couldn't keep. Yeah, I could. They have
Yeah.
force fields and
Yes. And
force
they have,
fields
like,
that can move.
well, they have like
and
security in their
sensors.
eyes now. Like they have like all this other crap just in
They
their
have
eyes.
transporters.
It has nothing to do with the technology. It's the procedures. I don't know if any of you have ever been inside a correctional facility, but
Mhm.
no two doors are open at the same time.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if you're moving through the facility, you get to this door, you buzz, it gets buzzed open, you open the door, you close it behind you, you go to the next door. And if there's another door open anywhere in the area, you got to wait. That one doesn't open. So that's just simple procedure. You let the force field down in sick bay. Well, you put one up at the door so that you can't get out.
Right.
You know, speaking of procedures, another thing that bugs me, not only in Star Trek, but everywhere else, is they always handcuff the people in front of them with handcuffs that let them pretty much do whatever they want to do, you know?
Right.
I mean, she's like handcuffed in front of her.
T-Verse says it, the bumbling security guard trope. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Keystone Cops of Star Trek.
And then Locke pretty much, you know, he kills himself, like he injects him,
Right.
all that. I was like, that didn't make any sense either. So.
No.
Yeah. I know
They're
he's
like,
a
"We're
patient, but
together,"
he's
and
still
all
a
this.
prisoner.
Yeah.
I know he's a
That's right.
patient, but he's still a prisoner. He should not be able to access his own medication. That's just
Right.
No,
silly.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, she's a prisoner too, but you know, she's going to be right by his bedside. Just stop.
Yeah.
Come on. Just
Yeah.
stop.
That
All right.
doesn't happen. But it
I-
was I don't know, like I don't know what they're leading up to. Like we have 3 episodes left. Locke's
I don't
dead.
think they know.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm telling you, man, it's
serious.
gonna end that friendship is the magic power that they
Yeah.
all could get.
Yeah, they're going
Yeah.
by friendship.
Yeah.
I know supposedly they wrote and filmed this months ago, but part of me in the back of my mind is thinking like today they're like, okay, I guess we have to put the finishing touches on the last
Yeah.
episode.
So can the Breen not turn back into a liquid? Is he solid now and that's it? He's just stuck as a solid?
I don't know, man.
Because
Well,
you know they had
They made up rules here, so
Culber said he had damage to some internal organ, but I don't know enough about it, so we need a Breen medic or whatever.
hmm
Well, if he turns back into goo,
I don't
mean,
buy
no,
that. I don't know.
Damaged, yeah.
Okay, that's another thing. I don't buy the I don't know enough about his physiology, you know, Dr. McCoy bullcrap. Scan the organ, figure out what it does, and then stitch it back together.
Yeah.
If he has
that's
organs,
what Scott does when he
That's
needs
what
to
I
save
do.
people.
That's what I
If he
do.
has
Just scan the
organs,
organ,
it might
figure out
be
what it
all
does.
Yeah.
goo.
You know,
I don't
use
know.
your AI to say, okay, well, it looks like it does this and it helps that, so let's just make it undamaged.
Right.
Mhm.
It's a MacGuffin gland.
Yeah.
It's
that's
a
my
MacGuffin
that's
gland.
my medical
MacGuffin gland.
opinion.
Yeah.
It's a MacGuffin
Dude,
gland.
if you could give Neelix holographic lungs, why not just give him a holographic organ?
There you go. Scan it, figure out what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bet they could in the future have a holographic organ like
Yeah.
that. You had to wear a hollow emitter or something just to keep it going temporarily, and then get a
Yeah.
real organ.
Exactly.
You know, actually, that would be pretty cool. That's a good idea, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write my Surgeon General right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Holographic organs for everybody.
Yeah, holographic organs.
All right.
And then,
well, thanks, Jazz. Anything
Okay,
else? you
your
wanna bring-
interview with William Sadler, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't you ask him about his ass in Die Hard 2? Was that really his ass? Was that a
It was
stunt
Den-
ass,
it was
or
Dennis
was that really
Franz's
your
ass.
ass right there? Because you're working
Yeah.
out really hard doing Tai Chi at the beginning of that movie. I want to know, is that really your ass?
That's
Do you
Uh,
great.
remember? Do you remember, Daniel? Do you remember back in the day? Like,
Yeah.
I think you named the shows before we filmed them now, but back in the day, we used to name the shows afterwards, and it would be some obscure thing that happened on the show. If we
Right.
still did that, like the name of this episode would be Trekcast number whatever, William Sadler's ass.
Oh,
That
for
I
sure.
like it. Maybe you can start
Sure.
doing that again.
For sure.
The only problem with that is it made it really hard to follow what episode we were watching, corresponding
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
you know, I'd be trying to find like Discovery season 1, episode whatever, and all it is like,
I
what
think
the hell is a
that's- I
devil
think
dog?
I think that's William Sadler's ass. I think that was the episode.
I remember being 10 years old, seeing that movie in the theater with my dad, And then like my dad looking over, like, oh my god, like what did I pick this kid to? It's like, is it gonna be
been
that
forever since I've seen Die Hard 2, so I didn't remember during the interview.
He did mention Die Hard too.
Yeah, he did.
You gotta read that. You gotta read that last post that came up.
Chazbiz asking the tough questions.
Assing the tough.
Oh, assing the answer.
It's awesome.
That'd be the first thing I'd ask him, because it's like that's like imprinted on my head as a little kid seeing that in the theater. And like
William Sadler's ass is imprinted on your head.
Oh, man.
Nice.
They're like Die Hard 2.
All right, Jazzers. Well, thanks for being on. We still got a lot of other people. So
all right, thank you.
Yeah,
good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. All right, we got T-Bear also waiting, so let's bring him on. There he is.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good morning.
T-Bear, whose ass do you want to talk about? Go ahead. The floor
Is that Taylor Swift behind you?
That is Taylor Swift.
What? Oh yeah, it's a record by It's funny because it was a Christmas gag gift. It also came along with the Kelsey.
Oh, that's
great.
Nice.
Football card.
I was like,
that's great.
Yeah, my kids don't really care for her music, so I've been keeping it there and threatening them if they don't do well or they're behaving badly. I'm going to play that.
Likely excuse as a gag gift.
Right.
You're probably the biggest Swiftie out there.
Probably. He's at the shows.
Let us see your Taylor Swift tattoo.
Yeah.
Let me hide the posters.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I just want to mention the shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There
So
you
it's a
go.
football
That's cool.
shirt from Star Trek The Experience. So
Oh,
I
nice.
just worn it like twice. So it's one of those where I'm probably preserving these shirts more than wearing them.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
But I wanted to talk about season 6, season 5, episode 6. It's that episode where Gerald Giraffe was a new kid in the school, and all the other kids at.
It took me like half a beat that I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. I don't think he's talking about Star Trek.
I think I remember how this one ends. He doesn't know anybody, but since he's super tall, he's able to help them. Isn't that how this episode
Oh
ends?
God.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they got the turtle or something out of the tree.
Yeah.
Or
Something like
tortoise,
that.
yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna have to post on the. I'm gonna have to post on our Facebook group because my mom's in the background taking photos of me looking like an idiot. So I'm gonna post those pictures on Facebook.
Nice.
Oh God, Peppa Cast. All right.
Peppa Cast.
Yeah.
So
because even my mom's like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?"
Exactly.
Okay, let me check that one off my list here. It is funny. Every time I watch this show, I end up coming up. Well, I think you said it. Someone said it last week. Was I watched the show and it's not that bad, and then I come on Trekcast and I realize, oh man, I missed all those issues, the way the writing or the plot holes. But
so the lesson is don't watch Trekcast. Is that the lesson?
We're all so excited to watch these episodes because it's Star Trek. It's Dan and I watching Justice League going, God, I really want this to be good. I really hope this is good. This is my favorite character, my favorite franchise. This has to be good. Oh, it sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the characters, it's not Star Trek, it's the writing, it's the plot.
It is the writing.
Yeah.
It's all those
100%.
But
it's all like it could be good. Like it's all the elements are there. They're just little tweaks and it would be great.
It's that potential. I think
that's the most infuriating part.
Yeah, I'm convinced that Tig Notaro writes her own lines.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Oh,
because they're good. They're all good.
Yeah.
No one caught 7 of lines.
Yeah.
Was that that
What's
was
that?
awesome.
What did I miss?
She called a drink 7 of limes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I wasn't sure what to make of that, but I did.
To which I was wondering though, how does she know about 7 since she's pre she basically skipped over Next Gen, or I'm sorry, Voyager era.
I'm sure everybody took a crash course on 25th through
Yeah.
32nd century, or whatever century they're in.
You know, that would be a really great thing to do, is fill in that gap of what happened in that time frame, so we really know why they made a Seven of Limes joke. You know, maybe when she was captain of some kind of starship, maybe like a legacy kind of episode or show.
Yeah, maybe Seven saved the planet of limes, and or there was a lime shortage, and she was able to save.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
Series. They could explore that whole time era that we 25th century. That'd be great.
I do know that somewhere somebody made a graphic that was how to make a 7 of Limes drink. So yeah.
Okay, I gotta look for that.
Yeah.
But
waiting game. Star Trek fan is starting to feel like being a Milwaukee Brewers fan. Every year we swear that this is our year. It only ends in disappointment.
That's like being a Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah. Every year. Yeah.
Yep, every year, every episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
My one good thing, I guess, it was nice to see Commander Non back.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
That was cool.
Yeah, she's cool. I like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She needs better security guards, but yeah, we should have it back.
It was great to see her. Everyone who works for her is horrible, but you know, it's good to see her.
They got rid of her thing, her metal.
They explained that in the
noticed
last
that.
episode she was in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said something about either A, she doesn't need them, or B, they're internal.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember which one, but
She still had like
because you also noticed that her eyes are different too,
Yeah.
and that was from spending time on her homeworld or something. The bizarre and homeworld.
Yeah. All right.
So don't worry, only 3 episodes left.
Yeah.
And there'll be ending program at the very last episode, and
Yes,
Riker will
please.
come out of the holodeck with Deanna, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Anything else you want to bring up, T-Bear?
No, other than my favorite character is Miss Rabbit. I mean, she's
Absolutely.
everywhere.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
Thought I'd end it on that.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thanks, T-Bear. All right.
Hold on, my mom just handed me a note. She says, "Hurry up! I'm getting hungry. Stop talking about this crap." I'm just kidding. You gotta see her. She goes, "Oh, I did not." She
right.
just called me a brat.
Nice. As you should be. Yeah.
She's not wrong.
And then we also have Hipster Spock coming on.
Hey,
buddy.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's up?
Okay, cool. Haven't been on for a very long time, so I thought I'd drop in and say hello to you guys. And Trek is still sort of part of my life. I still have all my like ships, and I still own the DVDs and stuff. I haven't destroyed them. And in fact, I think there's something to be said about owning like physical physical media, like DVDs.
For sure. Yeah.
100%.
Because I mean, when I signed up for Netflix, I started to realize that some of the TOS episodes look different because they did all types of digital stuff on it. Mm-hmm. And then that got me thinking, if they can do that to like a lot of the episodes, they can change it whenever they want, and they could take scenes out and all that stuff. So it's better to have the physical media, and you can just make sure that you have all the scenes and all the parts that you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good point. It's something Star Wars fans have been struggling with.
Yeah, but clunky.
And so that's one of the things that you got to defend your right to have like physical media. Mm-hmm. Like if you have the chance to get DVDs, I mean, at a really good deal, you should get it.
What was it in France a few years ago? They had a streaming service that went out of business where people could buy like digital files, like a movie or whatever. But then when they shut it down, they said, well, technically you never owned it. Yeah. It was a long-term rental. Yeah. So it's better to have I will be slowly collecting all the Star Trek
Blu-rays and DVDs, not Discovery, but everything else,
Yeah.
Not
all the
Discovery.
Lower Deck stuff.
Lower Decks and Picard and
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
Daryl says Charusot first.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
one.
Well, it's like you can't get a copy of ET anymore with the FBI agents carrying guns.
That's true. Yeah,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
exist.
now.
So yeah, that's the one thing, and I mean, like I said, or I mentioned a few episodes ago, whatever. I haven't been watching. I don't even do the torrenting because So I just follow along as you guys follow along.
Yeah,
and that's my homework.
There you go.
And so I thank you guys for your sacrifice. Of
We are the real heroes, aren't we?
How does Daniel say it? We suffer for the people.
We suffer for the people.
and all those dead brain cells did not go in vain.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, I just thought I'd stop by and say hello, and
Awesome.
keep up the good work. And yeah, I posted something about Peppa Pig on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Great.
Nice.
all right, that's it,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Hipster.
Thank you.
Hipster Spock.
All right.
I want to write a song called "The Heroes of Trekcast" that is done in the style of the Heroes of Canton from Firefly. So that'd be great.
Firefly, what's that?
Don't
What's
even
Firefly?
get me started, Dan.
Is that a show?
Oh,
about
that's
bugs?
Greatest-
That's a Stargate. That's a Stargate.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest sci-fi shows of all time.
Yeah. It's one of the
Right.
Stargates. I forgot.
No,
Stargate Firefly. Got it.
I'm so glad I'm not going to Long Island.
Or is that one of the Doctor Who's? Doctor what?
Yeah, it's one of the
Doctor
Who's.
Wen? That's Doctor Wen. Got it.
It's
That's right.
funny because when like 4 years ago, when you guys were talking about sci-fi stuff and somebody mentioned Firefly, I think both, at least Daniel was like, "Oh yeah, great show, loved it."
It is. Yeah.
I've never seen
No.
the show. I saw
You watched
movie.
you watched it out of order.
Yeah.
No, I just watched the one movie. There's Firefly
Okay.
and the
Watch
movie
the
was
show.
Serenity.
It's available on
Yeah,
Netflix,
Serenity.
so it's one of the greatest sci-fi shows of all time.
Yeah,
I love
watched them
Nathan
out of order,
Fillion.
too. I watched the movie first, and then I watched the show.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion's awesome. Marina Baccarin, Summer Glau. It's Yep.
Mike Medina did have a question for us, and it was: if you have your phaser set to stun, why would you feel compelled to warn your target to drop the weapon? Why not just shoot them right there?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Tactics
Yeah.
haven't been see. That's the thing. There are no real world tactics for them to draw upon for phasers on stun,
Right.
as effectively as they work in Star Trek. Like
Right.
if you can, I would imagine law enforcement or even the military would be a lot different tactically if they had a, completely non-lethal, effective every time stun setting.
Yeah. That's true.
And not like tasers, because I've seen video of like tasers just pissing the guy off.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
I've been tased. Did I ever tell you guys that?
No. Is that for Space Force?
Yes.
okay.
Yes. I was actually a taser instructor for
Okay.
for
Yeah.
some time, and
That's cool.
part of that is they don't make you get tased. They strongly suggest that you volunteer to be
Yeah.
tased, and there's a bit of hazing that occurs if you don't. So they kind of make you do it.
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah, it was
I'd do it.
it was excruciatingly painful.
I bet.
I would imagine.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A waiting game's got a good question. Never thought
What's that?
about this, but if a phaser is set to kill, does shot placement matter, or are you always dead?
I've always thought it was a nervous system thing,
Yeah, that's
because they could just vaporize you, and that that doesn't matter. But I think
Vaporize is when you don't want evidence.
right.
Do we want to kill this guy, or do we want to completely erase him from the timeline?
Right. Why not simply vaporize him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've also talked about having phasers with a stun setting but a wide dispersal.
Right.
So, we can stun everybody in the room. Well, you kind of just wrote yourself into a corner there, because
Yes,
why
you
wouldn't
did.
why wouldn't you always stun everyone in the room? Even if
The
you
wide
stun,
setting.
if you have a room full of enemies,
Mhm.
and you also have unarmed civilians or your own people scattered throughout the room, stun everybody.
Yep. Level
Just
3 wide beam. Boom. You'd be done with
stun
it.
everybody. Then you go through and you take care of the bad people and offer medical attention to everyone else.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
You pick up
Yep.
Neelix, you dust them off, you say, "Sorry, buddy, you were in the wrong spot." And after dinner last night, you kind of had that coming, but here, let's get you a sick bay.
No, you're
You
right.
pick him up, you dust him off, you say sorry, you shoot him again.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Like, oops.
Oh, my bad, buddy.
Sorry.
They painted themselves in a corner with that, and they painted themselves in a corner with a continuous beam as opposed to a pulse.
Yeah.
Action Dan.
Action Dan.
Action
Nice.
Dad. He's just like, phaser. I got all you mother effers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, like I was saying, I will not be here next weekend. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going up to the Blessing of the Bikes on my motorcycle. And
Nice.
so
All right.
I will be out of reach.
Sounds good. Well, Dan and I will figure it out. And, yeah. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?